This one's interesting. It's the Indianapolis Colts hosting the Miami Dolphins. And really, it's two teams, after further review, I think they're very similar and I think they're very different. It's very odd. Both mobile quarterbacks, both can sling it. I actually am a lot higher on Daniel Jones than the consensus. And the reason being is, you talk about coordinators, you talk about coaches. I think he's a good fit with Shane Steichen. I do. So I'm really curious to see what Daniel Jones can do. He's got plenty of weapons. He's got one of the better offensive lines in the league. So when you look at the offense that the Colts have, I mean, if he is even average, they're going to score a lot of points. You got Jonathan Taylor you can tote the rock with, right? They added DJ Giddens out of Kansas State. There's some weapons there, but then the defensive side of the ball is a little different. They lost some guys. They added some guys. A Charvarius Ward gets added in the offseason. Xavier Howard gets added. So, that's interesting. Up front is pretty much, it's similar. I mean, they did lose, some guys there, but Latu and Kwity Paye are going to be asked to do a lot. Obviously your man, Zaire Franklin in the middle of the defense is going to be asked to do a lot. I'm going to take the Colts in this one. I got them 23-17 over Miami. I think Miami, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, but Teron Armstead retiring, that's a huge, huge loss right before the year. Patrick Paul is going to be their left tackle, and he didn't look so great last year. So I'm going to assume he'll probably figure it out. I don't believe he figures it out in week one.
Yeah, I got the Colts 19, Dolphins 16. The reason why the game's going to be so close because Dolphins have Tyreek Hill, right? Devon A-Chain, I think he's going to be hurt for this game. I'm not sure if they're going to have him, but they still have Tyreek Hill, and he's someone to reckon with at all times. So I think that's important. The Colts, like you mentioned, Jake, they have on the defensive side, Zaire Franklin. Actually saw him this past weekend at the Syracuse-Tennessee game, and so it's going to be cool to see him hopefully lead the league in tackles again. The fact that he's done it in these past 3 years is a lot to say about his character, about what he's put into the game, and so he's going on his 8th year. He's doing really well. And then not only under Shane Steichen does he have a Pro Bowler, an All-Star, and Zaire Franklin, but Quentin Nelson, like you mentioned, their offensive line, pretty strong offensive line. I know Daniel Jones got the starting job over Anthony Richardson, who got hurt in the preseason. But Daniel Jones, he's been in an organization in the New York Giants where he didn't find much success. Well, hopefully with the Colts, he will find that success. And I know we discuss sometimes the coordinators and what that looks like. And so Jim Cooter, the offensive coordinator for the Colts in his second year, and then Lou Anarumo, Jay, coming from the Bengals, which is going to be a big move for the Colts. And that's why I think they win this game too, Jake, is because they have a strong defensive coordinator that's going to hold it down and find a way to stop Tyreek Hill. So I think that's a big plus. And then we talked about Quentin Nelson, and then Jake, we also mentioned another All-Star in Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he was hurt a lot of last year. I remember the year before that, though, he was the guy. He was the one. And so hopefully we'll see that this year. Hopefully he's fully healthy, ready to rock and roll, giving the Colts a dub over the Dolphins.
I like it, Cam. And what I'll say is this. The biggest, I make all sorts of notes on teams, throughout the offseason. And one thing I see is pass rush when it comes to the Dolphins. This is going to be a huge test for Daniel Jones to stay calm, cool, collected in the pocket. You have one of the best offensive lines in the league. You have weapons, okay? There's no excuse because if they get to Daniel Jones, it's because he's holding on the ball too long and he's not, moving around the pocket. And at that point, he could get benched if that's what we see this year. But I have some faith in him in this system. I just think when you got Chop Robinson and Zach Seiler and Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, I mean, there are a lot of guys. They're going to go after him. They are. I will say, though, the secondary, and this is what presents the opportunity for a Daniel Jones, I think the secondary you can throw on. I really do. This is not one of the stronger secondaries that we've seen from the Miami Dolphins. They picked up one of the Colts guys that they cut, Juju Brents. Rasul Douglas is there, but Jack Jones, Storm Duck, they're relying on. They let go of Jalen Ramsey. I don't really love this secondary at all. And I know they have some injuries too, but I don't really know what they were doing aside from Minkah Fitzpatrick. But yeah, I think it's an opportunity for Daniel Jones to test down the field. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But we both have the Colts.